Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to my respected lecturer, Madam Elina Zaliha binti Mahizan, and to my fellow colleague. Today, I stand before you, just not as a student teacher, but as an architect of learning environment. I'm Afiz bin Rozali, and I'm honored to present the culmination of my pedagogical journey for the course PAKK1142, Oral Communication in Early Childhood Education. The project I am presenting today is the title The Jungle Sanctuary and Momo's Interactive Adventure. At first glance, it may look like a play corner, but as we peel back the layers today, you will see a sophisticated integration of physical space and digital innovation designed to specifically to amplify the voice of the youngest learners. Our guiding star for this semester has been the big idea, shaping young voice through meaningful teacher talk. But what does this actually mean in the context of 21st century preschool classroom? In my research and development for Task 2, I realized that teacher's talk is not just about the teacher speaking. It is about the teacher creating a catalyst for the child to speak back. It is about the serve and return interaction that neuroscientists tell us is vital for the human brain development. My product, the Jungle Sanctuary, is built on the philosophy that children are naturally curious explorers. By using a jungle theme, we are not just teaching vocabulary. We teach about animals. We are tapping into a child's innate desire to mimic, to roar, to whisper, and to describe the wild world around them. We are taking the KSPK 2026 and Permata curriculum standard and breathing life into them through Talking Jungle, where every leaf and every digital button is an invitation to converse. As I move through this presentation, I will justifying my design through the lens of NPDL, New Pedagogy for Deep Learning. In the past, oral communication was often taught through rote repetition. A teacher will say elephant and the child will repeat elephant. But through Momo's interactive adventure, we move toward deep learning. We are moving from surface level naming to deep level engagement. When a child enters the jungle sanctuary, they aren't just looking at a cardboard cave. They are entering a space where communication meets creativity. They are engaging with digital tools, not as passive consumers of a screen, but as active creators who record their own voice and hear their own linguistic progress. This is essence of pedagogical capacity, KPPB, where we use digital elements to enhance and extend the learning rather than just replace a book with a tablet. Imagine a child who is usually silent in the classroom. They are hesitant to speak English because they fear making a mistake. Now, imagine that same child entering a jungle cave made of recycled vines, picking up a story stone, and hearing a friendly monkey named Momo ask them through a tablet, "Can you help me find the hidden volcano?" Suddenly, the pressure of the classroom vanished. The child is no longer a student being tested. They are an explorer on a mission. This is how we shape young voices. We don't force them to speak. We give them a word worth speaking about. Over the next hour, I will walk you through the technical assembly of the jungle sanctuary, the app smashing process behind Momo's digital world, and most importantly, the evidence of how this product fosters the 6 C's, especially communication, character, and critical thinking. Without further ado, let us step into the jungle. Before we look at the physical structure, let's examine why and what behind the learning objective and curriculum alignment that the foundation of this sanctuary. As we move into slide 2, I want to address the why of my project. Every sticker, every line of code in the ebook, and every piece of recycled cardboard in the jungle sanctuary is built upon a single solid foundation, a language-rich environment created through play-based teacher-child interaction. In early childhood education, we often hear the term language rich, but in the context of PAKK1142, I have defined this through the lens of Vygotsky social constructivism. I believe that language is not taught, it is caught through social interaction. However, for a child to catch a language, the environment must be thick with opportunities. My philosophy is that the teacher's role is to be a language scaffolder. By using a jungle theme, I am providing a high interest context where the child feels safe to experiment with sounds, phenomena, and syntax without the fear of formal assessment. My product does not exist in a vacuum. It is strictly aligned with the KSPK 2026 Curriculum Standard Prasekolah Kebangsaan and the Permata Curriculum. Specifically, I have integrated two major strands. The communication strand, we are focusing on the English language component, specifically the learning standard related to listening and speaking. My jungle sanctuary target the ability of children to follow simple instruction and to participate in daily conversation. The creativity and aesthetic strand, this is where the jungle cave comes in. By using recycled material to create a dramatic play zone, I'm encouraging children to express themselves through role playing. According to the NPDL framework, this is where creativity and communication intersect. When a child puts on a tiger mask and says, "I am hungry," they are meeting curriculum standard for both creative expression and oral communication simultaneously. I have set 3 specific measurements, measurable and developmentally appropriate learning objective for this project. Objective 1, expanding vocabulary and action verbs. In the talking jungle, we move beyond nouns. It isn't about monkey or tiger. Through the digital adventure, children encounter action verbs like swing, prowl, storm, and climb. This is crucial because verbs are the engine of sentences. If we want to shape young voices, we must give them the tools to build full thoughts, not just labels. Objective 2, encouraging oral response through call and response technique. This is a highlight of my digital resource. Using Suno AI, I have composed songs where Momo the monkey sings a line and then pause. This pause is pedagogical silence. It forces the children to fill the gap. In task 1, simulation, we learn that teacher's talk is most effective when it invites a response. Momo does exactly this digitally. It turns the tablet from a screen into a conversational partner. And objective 3 is introducing meaningful digital literacy via ebooks. We live in a digital age, but in early education, we must be careful. My objective is meaningful digital literacy. This means the child isn't just swiping mindlessly. In Momo's interactive adventure, the child must listen, process, and then act. Whether by clicking a hotspot to hear a sound or using the record button to complete a voice challenge, we are teaching them that technology is a tool for communication, not just entertainment. To conclude this side, I want to link this objective back to the 6 C's of deep learning. When we look at character, my objective aim to boost communication confidence by allowing a children to record and play back their own voice in the discovery net. We are giving them agency over their learning. They hear themselves, improve, which build the grit and perseverance need to be a master in a second language. Furthermore, this objective foster critical thinking. When a child hears a mysterious sound in the digital jungle, they must think, which animals makes that sound? How do I describe it to my friend? They aren't just memorizing, they are analyzing. In the jungle sanctuary, we are moving away from empty vessel theory of education. We are treating the child as a fellow explorer by aligning our philosophy with play and our objective with the latest 2026 curriculum standard to ensure that the teacher's talk occurring in this corner is not just noises. It is meaningful, structured, and transformative dialogue. Now that we understand the why, let us look at the what. In the next slide, I will physically walk you through the jungle sanctuary and show you how these philosophies take shape in cardboards and colors. Let's go. Moving from the theoretical framework of our objective, we now enter the physical manifestation of our project, the jungle sanctuary. In the field of early childhood education, we often refer to the environment as the third teacher. The environment is the third teacher. If the child is the first teacher and the educator is the second, the physical space is the third. For my project, I have intentionally divided the jungle sanctuary into two distinct but interconnected zones: the jungle cave and the discovery nest. This dual zone approach is designed to chatter the different learning styles, moving from high energy dramatic play to focused reflective and digital interaction. The jungle cave, a sanctuary for dramatic play. Let us first step into the jungle cave. As you can see from the prototype in my report, this structure is primarily constructed from recycled cardboard and newspaper vines. While this might seem like a simple choice, it is a deeply pedagogical one. By using recycled material, we are modeling sustainability and creativity for our learners. We are showing them that a language-rich world doesn't require expensive factory-made toys. It requires imagination. The jungle cave serves as our dramatic play zone. Why is dramatic play essential for oral communication? According to researchers like Christie and Roscoe, when a child enters a cave and put on a tiger mask, they experience a linguistic shift. They are no longer a student responding to a teacher. They are a character responding to a situation. I have equipped this cave with puppets and masks. These act as communicative props for a shy child. A silent learner speaking through a puppet provides a layer of emotional safety. In the NPDL framework, this addresses character. It builds the courage to speak because it is the monkey speaking, not the child. Within this cave, children engage in collaboration. They must negotiate roles. Be the lion and I will be the explorers. This negotiation is the highest form of oral communication because it requires active listening, turn-taking, and complex sentence structure. Next, we look at the discovery nest, a hub for digital reflection. Adjacent to cave is the discovery nest. If the cave is for the output and performance, the nest is for the input and reflection. This is a cozy station defined by a soft mat and a centralized tablet station. The design is intentional. The softness of mat signals to the child that this is the space for focus and intimacy with the digital tool. The discovery nest is where the child interacts with Momo's interactive adventure. Here, we see the NPDL element of digital learning product LD3 in action. This isn't just a place to play games. It is a station designed for individual or small group interaction. When two children sit in the nest together, they often engage in peer-assisted learning. They help each other find the hot spot on the screen. They laugh together at the sound they record. This zone is where the record and playback feature of my product is most utilized. In this quiet, safe nest, A child can record their voice saying volcano or adventure and listen to it immediately. This provides instant feedback, a core component of critical thinking. The child thinks, does my roar sound like the lion in the book? This is a metacognitive process in only possible because the physical environment. The discovery nest provide the quietude necessary for such reflection. The most critical aspect of the jungle sanctuary is the transition between these two zones. In the operational plan, a child might start in the discovery nest, learning the word storm through the digital ebook. Then they transition physically and mentally into the jungle cave where they grab a story stone and actually storm like an elephant in role-play scenario. This movement represents the NPDL extension. E3, we are extending the digital knowledge into a physical experience. This is how we achieve deep learning. We aren't just looking at a screen, we are living the language. From a safety and maintenance perspective, I have ensured that the jungle sanctuary is a child-proof. The cardboard edges are sanded or tapered to prevent scratches, and the tablet station is secured to prevent damage. We also practice hygiene literacy, teaching the children to sanitize the tablet after their time in the nest. This builds a sense of responsibility and citizenship as they care for their shared sanctuary. In conclusion, the jungle sanctuary is more than just a corner of the room. It is a carefully engineered ecosystem. The jungle cave provides the creative stage of social interaction, while the discovery nest provides the digital laboratory for linguistic experimentation. Together, they form a sanctuary where young voices are not just shaped but are given the freedom to grow wild and confident. Now, we have explored the physical hardware of my learning corner. Let us move to slide 4 to examine the software, the digital heart of this project, Momo's Interactive Adventure. We now move from the physical architecture to the digital heart of this project, Momo's Interactive Adventure. In modern education, we often use the term app smashing for this project. I didn't use just one tool. I integrate Canva, Book Creator, and Suno AI to create a multi-sensory experience. Why is this important for oral communication? Because a single app often provides a linear experience. By smashing these apps, I have created a resource that appeals to visually, auditory, and kinesthetic learners. Canva provides the high-quality jungle-themed visual aesthetic, Suno AI provides the rhythmic, musical soul, and the Book Creator acts as the container that allows for the most critical feature of all, the child's voice recording. Input. The first feature I want to highlight is the interactive hotspot. On every page of the ebook, there are clickable icons. When a child clicking on a hidden monkey or a rusty leaf, they don't just see an animation. They hear a high-definition animal sound or a piece of dialogue from Momo. From a pedagogical standpoint, this addresses engagement. In a traditional book, the child is a listener. They listen. In this digital resource, the child is the integrator of the text. They decide which sound to hear and when to hear it. This builds critical thinking as they begin to associate specific visual symbols with their corresponding phonetic sound. It creates a curiosity loop where the child is motivated to click and listen and then crucially mimic the sound they just heard. For the feature 2 is Suno AI and Call and Respond. Perhaps the most innovative element of this digital resource is the integration of Suno AI audio. I use generative AI to compose original jungle jams featuring Momo the monkey. These aren't just background songs, they are designed using the call and respond technique. We discussed in task 1 regarding teacher talk. A good teacher knows when to stop talking to allow the child to speak. I have programmed this AI song with pedagogical pause. Momo might sing, I can swing from tree to tree. Can you swing along with me? Followed by a 4-second musical beat. This beat is an explicit invitation for the child to shout, yes, or I'm swinging. This digital version of meaning teacher talk even when I'm not physically standing next to the child. My digital avatar Momo is facilitating a conversation. This meets the NPDL criteria of communication or respond in a rhythmic, low anxiety way. And the third feature, the voice challenge. Finally, we reach the voice challenge page. This is the output phase where the child moves from listening to producing language. On this page, Momo challenge the child to say complex words like volcano, atmosphere, or sanctuary. The child press the record button in the book creator, speak their word, and then play it back. This is a transformative moment for a preschooler when they hear their own voice and play back through a tablet. It reinforces their identity and character. They realize my voice has power. My voice is part of this story. This feature allows for self-correction. If they hear their playback and realize they didn't quite get the V sound in volcano, they can record it again. This iterative process is the definition of deep learning. We are using technology to do something that a physical book cannot do. Give the child a mirror of their own spoken language. In conclusion, Momo's interactive adventure is not a babysitting tool. It is a carefully scaffolded linguistic journey. Through Hotspot, we provide the vocabulary. Through Suno AI, we provide the rhythm. And through the voice challenge, provide the platform for speech in the NPDR framework. This is the digital learning product that doesn't just replace paper, it creates a new dimension of oral interaction. Now let's see how the digital excitement translates back into the human connection in our next section on NPDL and the 6 C's. We now arrive at the most critical juncture of this presentation, the NPDL justification. In our current educational landscape, it is no longer enough for a child to simply know a word. They must be able to use that word in complex, creative, and collaborative way. This is the deep shift from the surface learning to deep learning. To justify the jungle century, I have mapped my product against the 6 Cs. Today, I will focus on 4 primary dimensions that are most evident in this project: communication, creativity, critical thinking, and character. Communication, the serve and return of digital dialogue. The first C is communication. In many preschool settings, teacher talk is often a monologue. The teacher speak and the children listen. However, my project redefined this. Through Momo's interactive adventure, we utilize Suno AI generated songs that feature built-in pedagogical pause. This is a sophisticated use of the call and response technique. When Momo sings a prompt and then falls silent, it creates a communicative vacuum that the child feels compelled to feel. From a deep learning perspective, this isn't just about speaking, it's about active listening and processing. The child must decode the rhythm, understand the prompt, and formulate an oral response in real time. This mimics natural human conversation. By practicing this serve and return with a digital character like Momo, children build the foundational neural pathway required for fluent English communication in the real world. We are not just teaching them to repeat, we are teaching them to interact. And the second, creativity, designing linguistic playground. The second C is creativity. As teacher designer, I applied creativity in the production first by apps machine Canva, book creator, and Suno AI. But more importantly, I have designed a space that fosters creativity in the child, the jungle cave. It's an open-ended environment constructed from recycled cardboard and newspaper vines. It serves as blank canvas for child imagination. When children enter the cave with puppet and mask, they aren't just playing dirt. They are engaging in world building in NVIDIA. This is the original ideas to solve problem or express oneself. They invent story about a lost monkey in the cave. They are synthesizing their vocabulary into a creative narrative. They are taking static words and turning them into dynamic stories. This integration of recycled physical material and original digital content ensure the child creative spark is ignited at the very point of the century. Third is critical thinking. The detective is discovering nest. Thirdly, let's discuss the critical thinking. Deep learning requires children to move beyond what is this thing to how does this work and what happened next. In the discovery nest, children encounter voice challenge and sound hotspot. This isn't just a goosing game. When a child hears a mysterious rustling sound from the tablets, they must use deductive reasoning. Is that a snake or a monkey? Why do I think that? Furthermore, the voice challenge requires a high level of critical analysis. When a child records themselves saying a word like volcano and play it back, they are engaging in self-evaluation. They must critically compare their own spoken output to the model provided by Momo. If they notice a difference, they must decide how to adjust their tongue or brace to improve the sound. This listen, think, act cycle is the essence of critical thinking in early language acquisition. We are empowering the child to be their own linguistic detective. And the fourth is character, building the courage to roar. Finally, we address the character, which I believe is the soul of the 6 C's. In language learning, the biggest barrier is often fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of sounding strange in a second language. The third, record and playback feature is my primary tool for building communicative confidence. For a young child, hearing their own voice amplified through a digital device is very effective. It validates their existence in the classroom. In the privacy of the discovery nest or the jungle cave, a shy child feels the agency to experiment. As they hear the progress over several sessions, they develop grit and perseverance. They learn that language is a skill that can be mastered through practice. This builds a strong learner's identity. They no longer need themselves as someone who can't speak English, but as someone who can roar like a lion and speak like a momo. By shaping their voice, we are ultimately shaping their character and their belief in their own ability to communicate with the world. To summarize, the Jungle Sanctuary is not just a collective of activities. It is a pedagogical system. By intertwining communication, creativity, critical thinking, and character, we ensure that the teacher talk we facilitate is not just meaningful, it is transformative. We are moving from a teacher language to empowering a human being. Next, we will look at the KPPB element, especially how this design enhance and extend the learning experience beyond the four walls of our classroom. As we enter slide 6, we move from the what and the how to the impact. In our KPPB, Capacity Pedagogi Pembelajaran Bermakna, we must ask ourselves, is this product just a shiny toy? Or does it actually possess the capacity to trigger deep meaningful learning? To answer this, I have evaluated the Django Sanctuary against the 4 pillars of pedagogical capacity: relevance, engagement, enhancement, and extension. This element ensure that my design isn't just technological advanced but pedagogical sound. First, relevance, real world connection. Let's discuss the relevance. For a child to speak, they must have a reason to speak. According to the KSPK 2026, learning is most effective when it connects to a child's existing world. The Talking Jungle team is not accidental. It leverages real-life animal interest. Almost every child has a natural fascination with the wild. Using a theme that is already meaningful to them will lower the effective filter, a term coined by Stephen Krashen. When the content is relevant, the anxiety of speaking a second language decreases. The child isn't struggling to understand the context. They already know what a monkey is. Therefore, all their cognitive energy can be spent on the communication of the context. This is the essence of the making the abstract concrete through familiar themes. And the second, engagement. beyond passive viewing. It is engagement. In KPPB, engagement isn't just having fun. It is about the child being an active participant in the learning process. I have achieved this through two primary hooks, story stones and digital hotspot. In the psychology physical corner, the story stones act as tactile prompts. A child pick up a stone with a painted sun or a banana and must orally integrate that objective into their jungle narrative. Alhamdulillah. Yes. In the digital zone, the hotspot ensures the child remain an active investigator. They are not just watching a video of a jungle, they are triggering the jungle. This active engagement keeps their attention focused on the oral task for longer periods. It is vital for child with short attention span. We are moving from co-active learning to proactive learning. And the third is enhancement. Technology as a force multiplier. Now we look at the enhancement. This is the value that add in my digital resource. If I can do the same activity with a physical book, then the technology is unnecessary. However, Momo's interactive adventure provide something a book cannot: digital recording and instant feedback. The voice challenge feature enhances the child understanding of language concept by allowing for acoustic mapping. When a child record their voice, they are externalizing their thoughts. When they play it back, they are internalizing a correction. This cycle enhances the speed at which a child masters phonemes and pronunciation. The technology acts as a force multiplier for the teacher's talk, providing a level of individualized, repetitive practice that a single teacher in a classroom of 25 children could never provide manually. And the fourth is extension, learning beyond the screen. Finally, we address extension. This is perhaps the most important element of task 3. How does this learning move beyond the tablets? In my project, the transition from the discovery nest to the jungle cave is the physical manifestation of extension. In the nest, they hear the words. In the ebook, they see the word. In the cave, they live the word. When a child learn the action word prowl from Momo digital song, and then immediately goes into the cardboard cave to prowl like a tiger with their friend, that is in action. We are extending the digital knowledge into a physical, social, and creative reality. This ensures that into English, vocabulary doesn't stay in the digital box. It becomes a part of the child active everyday activities. This extension is the bridge to deep learning. It ensures that the shaping of young voices happen in a holistic way, connecting the mind, the body, and the voices. In conclusion, by applying the KPPB element of R2, E1, E2, and E3, we have created a learning corner that is both robust and flexible. We are not just teaching English, we are building a pedagogical bridge between the child interest and their linguistic future. Now let us look at the practical side of this thing. How do we actually run this sanctuary on a Tuesday morning in a busy preschool? Let's move to slide 7, operational procedure. We have discussed the why and the what, but now we must look at the how. In a 21st century classroom, the teacher is no longer the sage of the stage. We are the guide on the side. This slide outlines the operational heartbeat of the jungle sanctuary. As we implement this activity, the big idea of meaningful teacher talk comes to life. It is not just about the child playing with a tablet or a box. It is about the strategic prompts the teacher provide to bridge the gap between the digital world and the physical reality into one. Activity 1, the digital interaction, Momo's voice challenge. Our first operational phase happened in the discovery nest. Here, children engage with activity 1, Momo's voice challenge. The procedure is simple but effective. The children open the ebook to a specific challenge page. They listen to the Momo and the monkey prompt. For example, can you hop like me? Followed by a rhythm suno AI beat. The child then press the record button in the book creator to capture their own verbal response for a creative sound effect. From a pedagogical standpoint, this is the input phase. The teacher's role, child's wait time, and their reaction to the digital prompt. If a child is hesitant, we provide a scaffolded prompt. We might say, I wonder what happened. A happy monkey sounds like when he hops. This teacher talk doesn't give the answer. It invites the child to find the answer within themselves and the digital tools. And the activity 2, the physical transition, story stone in the cave. Once the digital challenge is complete, we move to activity 2, story stone in the cave. This is the output phase where we see the NPDL element of extension in the full effect. Children transition from the discovery nest to the jungle cave in a basket at the entrance of the cave. I have placed a story stones painted rock featuring various jungle elements like a sun, a banana, a footprint. The child pick a stone at random. This element of random choice trigger critical thinking. They must now interrogate the specific stone into a role play or a story based on what they just learned from Momo. Imagine a child just recorded the word hop in the nest. They pick up a stone with a star on it. In the cave, they might say to appear, the monkey hopped so high, he touched the star. This is a sophisticated linguistic construction. My operational procedure ensures that the vocabulary isn't just a recorded file on a tablet. It becomes a living word in the dramatic play of the cave. The most vital part of this slide is the teacher talk prompt. In task 1, simulation, we learn that the quality of our feedback determines the quality of the child's progress. Instead of saying good job, which is a dead-end comment, I use open-ended forming prompt. For example, I heard your loud voice. Did you sound like a happy monkey? Let's analyze. This is meaningful teacher talk. It acknowledges the effort. I hear your loud voice. Validate the child participation. It triggers the reflection. Did you sound like? Force the child to think about their own performance. Metacognition. It uses descriptive language by adding the adjective happy. I'm subtly expanding their descriptive vocabulary. Other prompt include Momo looks excited. What did you say to make him smile? Or I see you found the story stone. How does that help Momo find the volcano? This prompt turned the learning corner into conversational sanctuary. We are not just checking boxes, we are shaping young voices by proving to the child that they matter to us. To enjoy this ecosystem, stay functional, we follow a strict maintenance and safety protocol. Tablets are sanitized, story stones are returned to the basket, and the cardboard cave is checked for structural integrity. By following this operational procedure, we ensure that every child, regardless of their initial language level, has a structured, safe, and exciting path toward oral fluency. Now, let us conclude the presentation by looking at the final result of the reference that guide this journey. As we conclude the operational walkthrough of the jungle sanctuary, we must address the foundation of any successful early childhood environment: safety and maintenance. In our guidelines, we are reminded that a learning corner is only effective if it is sustainable and safe. My maintenance protocol focuses on two key pillars: hygiene and structural integrity. First, regarding hygiene, in the discovery nest, we are using shared digital tools, tablet and headphones in a post-pandemic educational landscape. Hygiene literacy is a part of our curriculum. After every session, the nest is reset. resetted. This involves sanitizing the tablets, screen, and earpads with child-safe, non-alcoholic wipes. But more importantly, we teach the children to participate in this process by asking, can we help Momo keep this home clean? We are building citizenship, one of the 6 C's, by teaching them to respect shared resource. Secondly, the safety of the jungle cave. While I choose recycled cardboard and newspaper for their creative and sustainability properties, I have ensured they meet safety standards. All edges are reinforced with closed tape to prevent paper cuts or scratch. The structure is weighted at the base to ensure it is topple-proof during high-energy dramatic play. As teacher, our teacher talk also includes safety scaffolding. Let's move like quiet leopard so we don't wake the sleeping cave. This use the team to manage behavior and ensure a safe, harmonious learning. The design of this century was not a matter of a guesswork. It is anchored in my established educational research. My reference include the foundational work of Christie and Roscoe's 2019 and the Power of Learning Corners, and the pedagogical framework provided by IPG Contemporaries 2026. This source provided the evidence that play-based interactive environments are the most fertile ground for the oral language acquisition. Okay, so we often think that shaping a voice means correcting a grammar or perfecting an accent. But today, I argue that shaping a voice means giving a child the courage to speak. When that child enter the jungle cave, pick up a story stone and hear Momo ask them to speak, they aren't just learning English. They are learning what they are heard. They are learning that they have their own value. They are learning that they have a place in this world where they can roar, whisper, and dream out loud. As future educator, let us not just be a teacher of subject. Let us be the architecture of centuries. Let us create space where every child feels safe and they have the thrill to learn. I am Afiz Rozali, and I believe that if we shape a child's voice today, we give them the power to shape their own future tomorrow. Thank you for your time, and I welcome any question as we step out of this jungle and back into our mission as educators. Thank you.